Hey blushing brides, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another wedding review for you where I walk you through and break down a real wedding detail by detail so that you can find inspiration and get excited for your own wedding. The wedding that I'm going to cover today is Lucie Fink and Michael Morris's wedding. Oh my gosh, they are absolutely adorable. I will link their wedding videos below, and you should definitely go watch those after you watch this because they're super cute and fun to watch. But I went through their wedding videos, their review videos, also their planners and florists and everyone's like Instagrams, and just pulled all of the details that I could find and put them all together in one place for you. So I'm super excited to go through this entire wedding detail by detail. Really quick before we get into that, I wanted to let my beautiful Bride Society members know that this week's bonus content is going to be a bunch of things from Lucie and Michael's wedding that you should definitely incorporate into your wedding and how exactly to do that, as well as a few learning moments or things that I would not incorporate from their wedding. So once you are done watching this, head over there and check out the bonus content and do your weekly check-in in the community. I'd love to hear from you girls what you're working on and how I can help. If you are not yet a Bride Society member, I'll put the details for that below where you can go and just click join the Bride Society. All right, let's dive into Lucie and Michael's wedding day. So we're actually going to start with the rehearsal dinner. They didn't share these details on YouTube, but they did. I did find them on Instagram, and they had a stunning setup. So they have this like stunning house in the Hamptons. I think this is just their house. I don't think they rented it or anything. But this is where they held a lot of the wedding celebrations, and it's where they got ready and stuff. But this is where they had the rehearsal dinner. So they had this stunning setup in the backyard. It is so gorgeous, and it looks like they just had a chef come and prepare dinner for everyone. And they probably just did their rehearsal and everything back there. Here's another look at the setup by the pool. It's so pretty. And here's a closer look at the actual table. It looks like they did copper chargers with just gray napkins and then place cards and maybe black silverware. I think it's done perfectly. I love the golds and the blacks and the grays, like the kind of bringing in the fall tones. And then they did some like more summery floral, and it's just stunning. They are very lucky to have this setup. This is definitely what an over-the-top rehearsal dinner looks like, but I love the idea of doing it somewhere private and hiring a chef just so that you can all be together instead of like in a noisy restaurant or something. So they just had their rehearsal dinner there and then stayed the night at that house, and that is where they got ready in the morning. By the way, this is their official like wedding video, and on their channel they have like their vows going along with it and stuff, so it's really cute. I'll definitely link it below, so be sure to watch it so you can hear their vows and everything. But yeah, they got ready there, and I think all the girls got ready in the house like upstairs, and then it shows the guys getting ready maybe at the pool house or something like that. I like the idea of kind of having everyone together all in one place, just like separate so you don't accidentally run into each other. Yeah, so there's all the guys going to hang out because that's what the guys do. They just like hang out all day. But it looks like they had a really smart setup, a kitchen full of food so that everyone's eating all day, which is the best possible thing you can do so that nobody gets too drunk. But here is a good shot of her hair. You can see for the ceremony, she did this beautiful braid, and that's before they had the flowers. And in there, you can kind of see a better shot of her hair. Let's see, here's another one. So it looks like they just did beautiful like baby's breath throughout her hair, which is turned out so pretty. And then back to their bridesmaids getting ready. It looks like she had a really cute white lace robe, and then the other girls had either blush or a more like corally terracotta color. I love the mix and match bridesmaids robes. I hadn't thought of that before. I always talk about mix and match dresses, but the mix and match robes are really cute too. And I love that the moms had robes as well. And then they have a bunch of footage of the guys getting ready, which I think is really great if you can get a photographer or a videographer in there while they're getting ready, because they're not going to be snapping a bunch of photos on their phone like the girls do. So it's kind of cool for them to be able to actually capture that moment for you. And then in just a moment, we're going to get into their first look, which turned out amazing. Oh my gosh, I love her dress so much. So I looked everywhere. She was definitely a Kleinfeld bride. She got it at Kleinfeld in New York, but I could not find the exact dress. But I love that it has like the illusion top, and then I love that it has the little flowers all the way down. I think that's really beautiful. So here's a shot from her Instagram of her with the dress. If you plan your time correctly on the big day, you definitely have time to like take these beautiful photos as you're getting ready, because you don't just feel super rushed. So they did a great job managing their time. I do have a wedding timeline video that I just posted last week that I'll link below, that will help you to be able to manage your time, and make sure that you have enough time to get this kind of stuff done if you want to. But I love that they took a lot of photos and a lot of video. Maybe a little bit too much, but that is their preference. They definitely documented their day very well, which I guess is great because then I can do stuff like this and tell you all about it. And then here's a shot of the back of the dress. It's so stunning. I looked high and low and I could not find this exact dress, so I'm kind of wondering if she had something custom made. But yeah, it was just stunning. I love the top, the illusion top, and that really ultra low back is just so pretty. And then one more little getting ready detail for you. She had these shoes specially made where they engraved the bottom with their initials and their wedding date. And I think that's a super cute idea as well. So before she did her first look with Michael, she did one with her dad. I love this. This is such a special moment and a great moment to capture on photo or video. Yeah, my best friend just did this as well at her wedding last year, and it was such a cute moment where her dad got to see her for the first time all in her wedding dress and everything. It's a really special moment. And I just want to make note one more time, I am definitely cutting this video up and pulling the pieces out so that I can show you the specific details and cover the traditional details so that you can incorporate this stuff into your wedding. But I am cutting this up, and this is not the original wedding video from their videographer. I want to make that clear. To watch that video, you can go to Lucie's channel, and I'll link it below. But I don't want to like step on anybody's toes creatively or make it seem like their videos has a bunch of like missing stuff. I'm just cutting it up so that I can show you the specific pieces that I think are most applicable to you. All right, and the long-awaited moment, here is their first look. I am obsessed with first looks. I think I'm going to do an entire video on how amazing a first look is. But yes, it's so cute. They're so excited, and it's such a cool moment. Be sure that you definitely have the photographer, videographer, everyone there and everyone ready for when you do this. And they did this at the house that they were getting ready at, so they still have not even gone to the venue at this point. They're doing all of this stuff at the house, which is pretty nice. I'm going to talk more about how to incorporate this into your day and like the specific benefits of it and stuff over in the Bride Society. So society members, head over there so that I can explain more on doing the first look, where to do it, how to do it, and when to do it. So since they did their first look earlier, they had plenty of time for tons of photos and videos. And I think they went to a couple different venues to do photos and videos before the actual ceremony. Then they finally headed over to their venue. Let's talk about this venue for a moment. So their ceremony and reception venue was the Parrish Art Museum in the Hamptons. Here's a shot of it. It's just basically this huge, long, empty building. I'll talk more about this over in the bonus content. But big empty spaces can be a little bit difficult, but they definitely had the resources and the team to make that not an issue at all. So it turned out really pretty. Here's another shot of the venue. Sorry for the low quality photos. It's hard to find photos of this venue. I don't know why it's so secretive. But let's talk about their ceremony. It was very unique and very beautiful. So they did it in this like dark theater room. I guess most people don't usually get married there at this venue. But let me show you a picture of their chuppah. Oh my gosh. Here's the like behind the scenes look of them putting it together. Their florist was Frank Alexander, NYC. I think it was a very high-end florist, and they put together a very high-end chuppah and ceremonies that was just absolutely stunning. But this would definitely be a pretty expensive setup. Depending on your florist and where you are, something like that could probably cost you somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000. Because it's actually really huge. There's a little bit more footage of it as they're walking out of their ceremony. It was just an absolutely stunning ceremony setup, but something like this is pretty dramatic and would definitely cost a lot to put together if the venue doesn't already have it set up for this. So you would definitely need amazing lighting, and your photographer and videographer really have to know what they're doing to be able to capture this correctly. So I'm assuming they had cocktail hour right after this. And usually when you do your wedding at an art museum, cocktail hour is the time for the guests to actually walk through the exhibits. So if you are having an art museum, it's kind of a great time for your guests to actually explore. And then let's move into their reception. So like I said, this is just like a big empty building. So they had to bring in everything, which is extremely, extremely costly when you have bare bones to work with, especially such a big space. But they obviously did an amazing job and made it really, really beautiful. Let's take a closer look at their reception decor. I love those light bulbs. I think those make for such warm, inviting lighting, especially during dinner. And they add just a really pretty touch. And they're definitely super trendy right now. Take a closer look at those. So they did black and white and stuck with more greenery with a little bit of white floral. So for their place settings, it looks like they had maybe silver chargers. I can't totally tell. And then black menus, black napkins, and clear napkin holders. And notice those black glasses. I love that. Colored glasses are super in right now. And I think if you do a black and white wedding, having the black glasses is a very unique touch. And let's go back to this shot so we can take a better look at their floral. They don't have very many amazing shots of it, but they definitely spent a pretty penny on floral, especially in New York. So I bet they spent somewhere between minimum 10 grand, but probably somewhere closer to 20 would be my guess. So they did the tall centerpieces. I love those because then people can still talk, but then you can still have a very grand, full centerpiece. And something like that would be great in a big empty room to kind of help fill the room. And then you can see other little centerpieces throughout. And next, let's take a closer look at that sweetheart table. So they took my advice. I'll take credit for it. But they reused their ceremony floral as a backdrop for their sweetheart table. When you're spending that much money on something for your ceremony, I think it's a genius idea to reuse that because you're not in your ceremony for very long. So it's a huge waste of money if you're spending that much on a big floral installation that you're only going to be in the room for like 20 minutes. So they took it down from above the chuppah and put it right behind the sweetheart table, and it looks absolutely stunning. And then it looks like they did a few other floral pieces on the sweetheart tables, just the white floral on the sides, and then a big box with greenery in the middle with candles throughout. And they did something really smart with their sweetheart table that I haven't really seen done before. I'm sharing that over in the bonus content, so head over there after this. But yeah, their ceremony, their reception, everything about their day was just absolutely stunning. Before you go, I have a few more little details to point out to you. Here's a shot of her bouquet. She just did white floral with some greenery. I think it was really beautiful. Here's a cute shot of the entire bridal party. Let's take a closer look at those bridesmaids dresses. So their theme was kind of more black and white and modern, but she had her girls in some neutrals. So we have some blushes, some mauve, some gray. I think in her video she mentioned that it was important to her that each of her bridesmaids got to pick out their own dress. And I really love that. I think that is the way you're going to really be able to please everybody and make all of your girls feel their best on their big day. And as you can see, they all have completely different dresses, but it's all along the same lines, and so it made for a totally cohesive look still. And then another little detail, she did take her hair down out of that braid after the ceremony and just wore it down and curly. She tells a funny story in their video that she basically got an entire haircut in between. So that was not planned. But then she added the floral crown, which I think turned out really beautiful. I love the idea of having a hair and makeup change or a dress change in between. However, if you are going to have your hair and makeup team there the whole night to be able to do these changes and touch-ups for you, that's going to be very, very expensive. So you might want to pick something that maybe you can do yourself, pull down yourself, if you do want to transition. Or if you have the budget to have your team there the whole time, then this is definitely an option for you. So yeah, they just had a stunning day. I would venture to guess that they probably spent upwards of 6 figures by the time you calculate the rehearsal dinner setup and all of the wedding festivities and everything. But it looks like it was definitely worth it for them. And then they did mention in their video that they had a really fun after party, but this is the only footage I can find of it. It looks like they had quite the setup for an after party. I think they mentioned they did s'mores and just hung out, and yeah, it looked really, really beautiful. And that was just at the same house, and then they got up and did brunch the next day as well. And then one more cool little post-wedding touch, they actually donated all of their floral arrangements through Repeat Roses, which I think is such a cool idea. There's no reason to throw all of those beautiful flowers away when they can brighten somebody else's day. So I will link the info for Repeat Roses below. But there are tons of opportunities like this where you can donate your flowers, even if it's you just find a nursing home or something like that, where you can take the flowers and brighten somebody else's day and get a little extra use out of them. So I hope you liked this review. Please comment below and let me know what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, if you want further detail on anything. Also let me know whose wedding you want me to do next. This one was definitely a request, and I am taking more requests. I want to know who you want to see so that I can put that together for you. And then also, if you are a Bride Society member, be sure you go head over and get the bonus content so you can incorporate some of the best touches from Lucie and Michael's wedding into your wedding and avoid some of their little oopsies that they had, or some little learning moments, I call them. And if you're not a member, I linked all the information below, and we'll see you next week. Happy planning.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling just loving this moment. Can we